Anyway, tell me about your conspiracy theory.
I'm trying to remember what would be really interesting.
Stop trying to change the subject, and tell me what your conspiracy theory. I'm literally begging you to tell me.
It would be more interesting if I could remember why I stumbled upon this in the first place.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I was in the Air Force and I was at Vandenberg Air Force Base, which is now Vandenberg Space Base. And at Vandenberg, I remember me and my friend used to we were photographers. I was a photographer. And we go around the base sometimes on our free time and just like look for shit we're not supposed to find. And I just remember thinking like, so there's different launch facilities. I don't know how many they have now, but there's several. And so I had a few experiences where um they would kind of explain like, so there's a star treaty with Russia. Okay. So this is kind of where I have a point, I guess.
Yeah. What's your point?
And the Russians would come to Vandenberg Air Force Base every so often, and according to the Star Treaty, any building with double doors inside, they were able to walk in. And so our offices had double doors because it used to be a facility where they would like package a satellite or something, and then it just turned into a normal office building.
Okay.
Okay. So one of our friends, he was Russian and he spoke Russian. So every time the Russians came to base, we would already know about it because he would have told us, and he would go off and have to follow around the Russians. And they would bring an inspection team of like 20 or 30 people with them. And then we also kind of were in on everything because they also requested a group photo of the Russians every time they visited. And that was one of us taking the group photos. And it was always my friend because Oleg, the guy who could speak Russian, because he was from Russia, always asked for my friend to take the group photo. So we always knew what was going on with the Russians at this base. And so we just started to notice things a little bit differently, and we couldn't figure out if they were like, is this part of the Star Treaty? Is this like evading? Like, we get it, government can speak. You're the government. You're hiding stuff. You got secrets. Like, we get it. But
Yeah.
like, some of the way that they're dealing with the missiles was like, it made me shake my head. Like, for example, they don't build anything at Vandenberg. Everything comes, the different parts of whatever rocket and the payload, they all come to the base and then they assemble it on the base. It's pretty much normal because you can't really like build the thing where you're going to launch it from.
Right.
But sometimes they would arrive by boat, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. That's kind of interesting. And then sometimes they would arrive in a semi truck.
Okay.
In the back in the Connex trailer, and the people driving it are just like, you would never guess this is driving down on the road with a giant rocket inside of it, or at least one of the stages, or possibly even the payloads.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of like, it really like turned my head like, what's going on here? Like, you have the Star Treaty, right? Like, everybody can see your rockets going into the space.
Yeah.
What's with like the double layers of secrecy for the rocket stages? Like, and then if you look at something nowadays with like SpaceX, like, it's no secret. They open their facility and they show everybody. And I remember thinking back then, like, there's part of something like something else. Like, this is like for something else. This is like double layered for like something else. And that's something else I don't know. Right?
Yeah. You don't know what's in it, right?
Yeah, I don't know what's in it. I don't know where they are. And so there was we were in control of keeping our own media, videos, photos of the military, anything that we were doing. We were in control of keeping all that media on our servers, and it was controlled by people who are not computer scientists, and it was a mess. It was like a mess. Thousands and thousands of folders, like photo 001, instead of like Vandenberg launch rocket
Right.
dot 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 dated something whatever. And so I remember me and my friend were going through these, and we found photos of like underground tunnels all throughout the base where they were taking rockets around. And so it also just double questioned me, like, at some point, if it's a rocket, you're gonna launch it.
Right.
Everybody can see it. Like, why? Like, what are you? Like, it just confirmed, like, you're doing other bullshit. You're doing something else. And
So what do you think
yeah,
they're
and
doing?
well,
Nukes? That's pretty
I mean,
secretive.
the nukes were an open subject. People would come up from all parts of Southern California and protest every often that there were nukes on the base,
Yeah.
which was like obvious. Yeah, there's ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, all that stuff. But again, it's on the ground. Like, if you were taking satellite photos, like, all that stuff is on the ground. Like, what are you doing with this underground stuff? And so eventually I came across this historian. Okay. And so why could I come across this historian is because there used to be these tours that the Air Force would give, like, other high-ranking people in the Air Force tours of Vandenberg because it was so cool, and they wanted photographers to spend the day with them. So I did, like, I want to say 3, but I think at least 2 of these, and I would go with this to the spots where they're giving all the tours and everybody's talking. And I heard about this historian previously, and this historian was crazy. He's basically an autistic of rockets. He's an Nazi of rockets.
Okay.
And so much so that these scientists and these rocketeers or missileers or whatever they were from the Air Force, these smart people that are doing research and development, they would come up with better ways to do rockets. Like, it doesn't matter, like, if it was from a tiny little part or redesigning a whole rocket and making a balloon that goes into space, for example.
Right. Or make it more pointy.
Yeah, or make it more pointy, whatever it was. Nobody could get their idea processed, approved, unless you could convince the historian he hadn't heard of it before. And
Wow.
at the date back then was like 2004, nobody could get their idea past him. This is 2004, 2005,
Okay.
2006.
But did he have to provide proof, or?
That was his backup. He memorized every single research document from the space race.
Oh. Okay.
Of rockets, airplanes, all these things. And so that was like his introduction, like how he introduced himself to people. Okay.
Okay.
And so I started, like, listening to this guy. I think it was the second or third time. I was, like, listening a little bit closer. And he was saying things in a way of, like, we already know what the answer is. That was his attitude. We already know, like we already figured it out. Right?
Damn. Okay.
Figured out what? Like space, like getting to space, optimizing space, like,
Right.
we already got it.
Okay.
That was his attitude. And I didn't notice his attitude the first time. I noticed it the second time. And then I got to tag along to when we went to this control center building. control center building like in Houston. So NASA has a Houston, or no, yeah, obviously NASA has Vandenberg has a Houston in Vandenberg.
Right.
The Houston Control Center, all those
Right.
monitors where they had the moon landing and all that stuff.
Right. I mean, who else
There's-
are they talking to? A guy named Houston? Like, come on. It's
Yeah, right.
obviously the
So they have that. So they had that in Vandenberg.
Right.
So one of the chiefs of that area came out to talk to us,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all just like wondering. I mean, honestly, I saw my attitude in the people that were coming around, like these high-ranking master sergeants and captains and colonels that were like getting awards or something, and they all had the same look of on their face that I had, was like really, what are you what are you doing here? And then the chief, he goes, all right, I'll level with you.
Okay.
We spy. I was like, okay, so you're building like spy satellites, all this bullshit, blah 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 blah.
Right. Like targeting
like-
or GPS, yeah.
Yeah, like all that stuff, like any spy satellite in space. Okay,
Cool.
so after that, I was just like, they're still like the two categories don't really align in my mind. And I remember just searching something, and I was searching about other planets, and I found the Titan moon,
Yeah.
or the Saturn moon Titan.
Right.
Okay,
And-
has an atmosphere, has everything that you need.
And you were looking at Titan because you were like,
'Cause
Elon, Mars isn't gonna work, Moon's not gonna work.
Oh, Elon!
But Titan.
Funny limerick of Elon. Elon at that time in 2004 was trying to get into Vandenberg's business, and we didn't call him Elon Musk. We called him the PayPal guy.
Right. Okay.
Because we didn't know him. And his idea, his first idea that he came into the base with, because I was on public affairs, so anytime you interact as a civilian, you go through the public affairs office.
Mm-hmm.
The other people at the public affairs office told me that his idea was to take rubber bands and throw rockets into space. Giant rubber bands.
Okay, I mean.
So that was PayPal guy.
There are other ideas too. The spinning one, and that it like launches you.
That's a real idea.
Right. Well, I mean.
Yeah.
It's a
that
step above
works.
rubber bands, but it's like. Okay, so
right,
you did rubber bands.
A small step above rubber bands.
Okay.
So yeah, I just stumbled upon like what's going on in space, something like that.
Okay.
And a lot of research just pointed at, well, Titan has an atmosphere. It's more Earth-like than any other planet, though it's not considered a planet. And then, so I took the names of all the places, and they're just very interesting when you interpret some of the names. So then I started digging a little bit more, and and then I kind of stumbled on, like, if I could prove that there would be something to get us there and back in a reasonable time, then it would be reasonable to conclude that we've already been there.
Yeah.
Possibly colonizing it.
You think we've been colonizing it?
At least with a base.
When did we discover Titan now?
Like in the 1600s.
What do you mean? Like with
like
an
astronomer in the 1600s like figured it out.
Wow. And he wasn't burned at the stake?
I don't think he was anywhere near a Catholic church.
Everybody was Catholic back then. Come on.
Yeah, I guess, but I don't know. Yeah, you can look it up, but
okay, so we've known about the existence of this moon Titan
well before like the space race even started.
Oh, okay. But we just didn't know what it was made of. what the atmosphere was like?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
did we
Some
really
days,
know? Like, do you know when we, like, really knew, like, hey, this could be a value, this could be like a viable for second planet for us to, or not planet, but moon for us to inhabit?
quicker than you think, quicker than you think. Somewhere between the 50s and the 60s.
Wow, 1650, 1630. Wow.
No, 1950,
Oh,
1960.
oh. Okay,
Right
okay.
at the start of the space
So
race.
okay, so around the space race. Dang, dude.
Technology got a little bit better. Telescopes were a little bit better. They were able to like derive, um, chemicals by the signatures of the photograph, like light from the photograph and stuff like that. Like I'm not an expert in that subject, but it's possible
Yeah.
to figure it out on clear days. Sometimes you can see Saturn with a relatively poor telescope
Hmm.
with its rings.
Okay. Cool.
But the interesting thing, NASA kind of tells on itself because it says if you go to their Explorer page right now, like, and you're pumped up about exploring space, you're a 10-year-old kid. I want to explore space, and NASA's going to tell you, man, we got the solution for you. Just follow the water. That's their motto. Follow the water.
Okay.
Um, Saturn's rings, the outer ring, is
Water.
composed of pure water because of geysers from one of the moons next to Titan.
Hmm.
Just spits water out into space.
Wow.
Titan itself has a full sheet. That's about 35. That's not much of a sheet. It's about 35 miles deep of solid H2O ice.
Wow. Whoa. So there's water there, basically.
Infinite.
Wow. So it's just like really, really cold then.
So the surface is about 280 degrees minus below freezing,
Okay.
minus 230
Dang.
ish.
All right.
And the atmosphere is methane. And the atmosphere is methane. So you can't breathe, but yeah, there is water.
Hmm.
And the surface can hold liquids, but for some reason well, not for some reason, but the only liquid that's like liquided, there's lakes and stuff, is all methane lakes,
So it smells
which
pretty
is
bad.
smells like farts.
Dang. Okay. Wow. Interesting. So we could technically go there and, I guess, heat up the ice, make water, and then.
So
But can we
let's
breathe?
just say,
But could we breathe?
yeah, if you can melt the ice, you have water, and water has oxygen. You can split the hydrogen oxygen and have infinite oxygen as well.
Hmm.
So you can produce your own things, and you have, if whatever you wanted to run electricity wise, you have infinite energy from methane. If you wanted to burn fuel, you can still pull the oxygen from the water that you melt. And there's been several designs put out online how to actually do that. One of them is like a probe connected to hoses, and it's got like a very tiny nuclear reactor on it that heats everything up and just continually melts, and you can just take water out of it, sort of like mining oil,
But for water.
um, but for water.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. So is the whole thing
That's
made of ice then, or is there
um
something under, or like?
yeah, so there's oceans of water underneath the ice.
Huh.
There's land too. There's like regular rocks with stuff,
Yeah.
but the ice is considered on that moon to be more rock-like than ice because that's how cold it is.
Hmm.
But yeah, deep, buried deep under there is um, all water,
Wow. Huh.
oceans.
So you can definitely drink water. Can you eat? Can you like? Could you eat anything? Like, well,
You
obviously
would,
there's no animals or
right.
life, but
However, there could be fish
because of the ocean.
because yeah, because there is these geysers at the bottom of our ocean. I don't remember the scientific name of them, but basically the plasma, or not the plasma, the magma inside the Earth has sort of cracks in the crust around it, directly around it, and it breaks open and makes these little geysers. So it has hot ass water coming out into this cold ocean,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so this mixture has a reaction with bacteria. And many scientists consider those geysers to be like the start of life forms.
Damn.
And so there's evidence because the moon next, I forgot the name of it. I think it's Europa. Europa has the geysers that shoot out water all the way up into space. So,
Dang.
good luck with the life form floating around in space. But there's
Well, just get a
speculation
big
that
bucket. Just get a big bucket, 2 rockets. Boom. You got all.
maybe a big plastic bag that just kind of like spreads out like a
Yeah,
sail.
dude. I mean, come on, man. You got this.
And we just turn around and come back. Well, there's speculation that these geysers are underneath the oceans in Titan.
Huh.
Of course, you can't see them, but it's like, hey, Europa has them. Like, why wouldn't Titan have it? Is my take on it. So I believe they're down there. So that would create, small bacteria or whatever microbes things turn into blah 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 evolution blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Could be a fucking giant octopus under there for
So
all we
what's
know.
your what exactly is your conspiracy here with this? Because it's like, yeah, okay, it could support life, but like we can't get
Yeah,
there. I mean, we can barely get to the moon. Like,
right.
we can't. I mean, we can get to Mars, but with people, no, not really. So, like, where's the conspiracy part in this?
So I believe that we're all. I believe that we're there. I believe that we're there already.
What do you mean?
The base. With a base.
You think we're already on Titan
Yeah.
with like purple
Because
fuel and stuff?
no, with regular humans took a mission there. And whatever other mission they have, maybe they have a mission to do another space rocket that comes back to Earth but far away. Because in the military you always want the higher perspective, right? Remember that infamous scene from The Rock, the island? The
Yeah.
Rock, and there was the Marines, and they were like, "We have the high ground." No, sir. Right? They were in the bathroom, and the Marine was on the high ground,
The
and
island.
everybody was, oh, yeah,
The
they were with Kevin. No,
the one
the
directed by Michael Bay. The island. That one.
Alcatraz. They take over Alcatraz.
Oh.
There's a military coup.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Your
Nicolas
quotes are lost in on me.
Nicolas Cage. Anyways, okay.
I mean, dude, he's been
Anyways,
in
just
so many freaking movies.
uh, I just dated
No, but
myself.
okay, so we've got the high ground. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the
I think
military
you're
aspect
thinking,
is
oh,
always
dude,
maintained.
you're thinking of Star Wars, Episode 3. He's like, it's
How do
over,
I
Anakin. I have the high ground.
how do I end this call? Click this red button. Okay,
Yeah,
so it's just a military aspect, right?
got it.
So the space race really showed its face for it, and it's a well documented. Russia would say something publicly, the U.S. would say something publicly,
About Titan?
back and forth for 20 years. No, no, no.
Oh,
I
just
mean
about
about
space.
the aspect, just about the aspect that we're going to take the higher ground. Not morally, not morally, like literally,
Space.
like,
You mean
oh
space?
yeah, like
Yeah.
you put a monkey in space, we're gonna put,
Right.
you know,
It's a
a
dick
dog.
measuring contest. Yeah.
Yeah, literally a dick measuring contest,
Right.
no doubt.
Yeah.
How far did they get? We're gonna get here. How far did they get? We're gonna get here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, now we're in the moon.
Yeah.
Ha!
And
Give the middle
yeah,
finger.
America's like, haha, we're not
Right.
in low Earth orbit. We're on the moon, bitch. You know.
Yeah, we're on the moon, bitch.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
Getting on Titan just to get there is that military aspect. So it's not like thinking like, oh, but the military is involved in public health and um um giving free health care to people and deploying to poor people's homes and restoring their houses. No, dude, that's not what the military fucking does. Military is divide, conquer, obtain the higher ground, and fucking move forward.
Right. Or
And
secure the strait.
yeah,
Right.
at the cost of your mental health
Right.
and public health and free
Yeah.
health care
And
and
oil and
free
yeah.
college and
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, oil into the ocean and
Right.
the number one polluter burned 85 million barrels
Sure.
of,
Sure.
of oil in a day,
Right.
right?
Right.
At that cost, but we're for the higher ground,
Right.
okay?
No, I get it.
So that's why it makes sense to me. Like, of the why makes sense.
So do you
Even if you're
think?
just there to do anything.
So do you think they continued after the moon? Like they continued this dick measuring contest, like to Mars, to Venus, to Saturn, to to Titan or whatever. Is
There,
that what you think? That's
I can prove that. I can prove it.
because they didn't do
The
any of that publicly, or am I just wrong about that?
No, you're not wrong about that. Nothing was public. NASA was the ass end of the development of the military industrial complex. So there are 4 different space programs. 4. NASA is number 3. NASA sits between the intelligence community and the Department of Defense. The Department of Defense has their space program, which is now sort of completely under the Space Force, but not really, because the Space Force is an intelligence agency,
So
and
it
then
doesn't.
it's the 18th intelligence agency,
Oh.
and then the intelligence community, all 18 intelligence communities or agencies or whatever, have their own space program that's sort of spearheaded by the National Reconnaissance Office. So that's the 2 space programs you'll never see in the news. And when you see them in the news, it's just a tiny little blurb writing. But you almost never see something from the Department of Defense, like if it was for the Navy, the Air Force, Marines, Army, you'll never see that in the news usually. And then the third aspect is NASA. NASA sits between the intelligence community and the public.
Okay.
And then you have the SpaceX, the Red Bulls, the Virgin Airlines. Those are civilian. They're classified as civilian.
Okay.
When you look at the documents, the government documents that they fill to get permission to go to the stratosphere,
They're civilians.
you're filling them out as a civilian organization.
Okay. So this is
Yeah.
okay. So around this time that you're talking about, that's no longer public, of this continued dick measuring contest. You're saying this was going on in private. This was at the end of the Cold War. So they both got a phone. Obviously, they both are in communication. For nuclear
Who's both?
fallout, America and Russia, right?
Yeah, the space race. The space race,
Continue.
is like 50% of why this thing could even exist.
Because of all the money that's gone into it, or like
it's not just the money. The infrastructure was built for the moon.
Right.
The infrastructure was put there at a cost of, you know, basically what we give the Department of Defense now. Let's say, I mean, rough estimate, like a quarter of the money that we give the Department of Defense last year was about $90 billion. So a quarter of that is like, let's just say like 20 billion in today's dollars, built the entire infrastructure for the moon landing.
Okay. Cool.
In money at that time. So there's,
Yeah.
I'm summarizing. There's a little bit of a leeway, but
Okay.
that that hardware they built, like it served a purpose. Like there, it makes no sense that they would turn that stuff off and just leave it. I mean, would that make sense to you? You build a house and then you don't use it. You only use it one time. You spend one night in your house.
I see two possibilities. Yeah, you're right. It would be completely pointless, unless what you're trying to do is also completely pointless by going to different planets or moons, because everything we care about is here. But I don't know.
You're not wrong,
Okay.
but everything is here, but you always want to maintain higher visibility. So the satellites that they started putting into space, this was created an interesting problem. The first programs to get things, so Sputnik had its day, the US had a response, and then the CIA immediately was like, no more fucking games. Let's get something in there that gives us some fucking dollars. Because what they were doing is they were taking what are now called SR-71s, and back then they're A-12s. And this program, you can look it up, it's called Corona. So they would fly fast and high over, like, it's not just Russia, anywhere in the world. And this film canister would just spin and take thousands of photos at very high resolution. Then they would kind of come fly back around, and they would release it. I don't know why. Was it the plane that was releasing it, or like another thing? Anyways, these film canisters, from whether it was from a satellite, a weather balloon, or wherever, they would drop these fucking things in the middle of the ocean. And this, and you think about that, okay? This is a war. And you just drop your fucking gold piece surveillance, your high visibility of the enemy in the middle of the ocean.
Okay.
That anybody can get. A fisherman coming by just pick that thing up, put it in his boat before any other like persistent surveillance existed, and just fuck off, and you get fucked.
Right.
So that actually happened one time. There was a drop of one of these canisters from, they did everything: spy balloons, spy planes, spy satellites. It would spin around the Earth, and before it would come back into orbit, it would spit out the canister to some
Why?
place that people could get to.
Why?
Because the satellite's going to burn up, the plane's going to, I don't know, not be in the right position. I don't remember what it was about the planes specifically. They might have kept their canisters. But these payloads had to be ejected from the place. And the Russians one time stole one of our canisters out in Siberia.
Damn.
Which is like, so in the intelligence community, they're like, we need a fucking fix for this goddamn problem.
Right.
And the fix was get higher, get further, and do a re-entry with everything. It takes a more specialized equipment, rockets, setup. And so if you see that the Corona program was classified for like 40 years,
Damn.
They developed special enclosures for the satellite to keep the whole thing together in like one package, so that on reentry they could like get it, but this was still like bullshit to them. This is still like they started to marry the two worlds between space exploration and the intelligence community's needs. Because the space exploration was like, we're going to take this vehicle, leave the Earth's atmosphere, come back in with people and land, meaning we don't need to eject our surveillance tech out the ass of these satellites and go do a 300 square kilometer search for this fucking, thing that's maybe the size of a small refrigerator.
Yeah.
So there was a driving force behind the space race to do like a complete space package,
Okay.
like a spaceship.
Okay.
And so that was really the drive, because it gives you an advance over the enemy. Eventually they go to, a digital solution, obviously, with communication, so they don't have to take these surveillance satellites down. But
Yeah.
the drive for an actual vehicle that can exit Earth's atmosphere and come back in was what they were 100% after. The Department of Defense, the intelligence community were like, this is like an overarching, like, we maintain superiority. We can fucking leave the space atmosphere. First of all, good luck shooting at me. Second of all, I can see you and you can't see me.
Right.
That's military high advantage right there. I don't know. High advantage right there. Whatever. So you can see the history of experimental aircraft start to try to fulfill this need that they want.
Okay.
And they were doing that. Like I mentioned, that guy, that military historian guy, he knew all about that stuff. Also, experimental planes and trying to get higher and higher, leave Earth's orbit, come back, or get into not low Earth orbit, but just below the Kremlin line, as high as you can, and make a pass around Earth.
That's cool.
That's
So,
where, that's kind of where those SR-71 came from.
So how does going to Titan accomplish the higher ground? Like,
So
why do
it's
we
kind of
want
interesting.
on Titan if not for space exploration?
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So the intelligence community and defense community are kind of a black box. You can't really tell what they're thinking.
Yeah.
There isn't a particular program I could find that was saying that we can use Titan as like a laser pointer, right? And like points to the fucking moon. And then we use the moon as like a relay point to point back to the Earth.
Yeah,
How
there's no
it,
plans like that, you found.
but what Titan would give you would be infinite space fuel and a rallying point.
Okay.
I mean, of anything I could literally prove, like that's kind of the limit of what I could actually say about that. Because we're dealing with the intelligence community and the Department of Defense, which I don't have any other thing. But I will tell you that the guy who hacked into the NSA because they left VNC open on 5900 unpassword protected, fucking geniuses. These are our rocket scientists, by the way.
Well, they're rocket scientists, not computer scientists. Come on.
That's true. That's true. So he declares that when his NDA was expired,
Yeah.
that he found a Excel spreadsheet with 20 names of military personnel with the designation of extraterrestrial, not like alien. Extraterrestrial meaning not stationed on Earth.
Whoa. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's the point in my direction.
Okay.
So there's not really...
It doesn't really say from Titan, though. But you're saying if it was from any other planet, it would be from Titan. And supposedly they're humans. They're not aliens. They're us.
Yes.
But from...
Right.
But born in another planet?
No. They entered the military. They got into the military.
Okay. From here.
And pilots or something.
Okay.
From here.
And
then they got into these secret government programs and took one of the...
I would think an extraterrestrial would be from somewhere else.
No, it's a designation. So technically, you're a terrestrial.
Right.
You're a terrestrial.
Right.
When we leave Earth's orbit, the astronauts are extraterrestrial.
So every astronaut, like Katy Perry, is
because they didn't
designated an extraterrestrial.
Fuck that bitch. She did not. None of them left the Kremlin line. So they never went into space.
But they're astronauts. They're still designated astronauts. Is that right? Or is that right?
I'm looking for where can we end this?
What do you mean? We're not even halfway done. I want to see the evidence that you have supposedly collected.
Okay, well, walk me through it. Okay, we have to confer that. Okay, at this point, I don't have a good why they would be there, other than it's a military outpost.
For something.
In the very least.
Yeah.
Right. Could they, do whatever your imagination goes? Like, yes, but why would it be Titan? The atmosphere plays a more important role than any other place because it gives you automatic protection from micrometeorites, the sun radiating you to death. And the atmosphere is very dense, and the gravity is slightly stronger than the moon. So
it'd be a much more
hard enough. You would actually fly around. You could.
Huh.
There's no other place you can do that. So meaning that also if you brought a plane with you, drones, those would all work. On other places and planets, it's like excruciatingly more difficult to do those kinds of things. Or impossible. So there's actually a drone mission for Titan coming up in the next 10 years or so.
Wow.
They're sending a little drone because it can fly around. Mars is a distraction. That is also what I think.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, so I mean, that's all I can say about that. Like, I can't guarantee, like, I
mean, we're not in the know, right? We don't know. I mean,
yeah.
We're also not leaking.
Oh, there's nothing to leak because it's all been leaked, but nobody reads it together. Or if they do, they don't talk about it. I don't know. But... So what's next? Disprove me on the next theory. Next part.
Disprove you? Oh, I'm just trying to, I'm not trying to be combative or anything,
No, it's not combative. Like, I want to go to sleep without this on my mind.
Okay, so reasons aside of why you would be, why would you want to go to Titan?
Yeah.
So obviously, Titan is a really good place to go if you were going to explore, if you wanted to actually have extraterrestrials live there and have a second home for the planet, for Earth, right? Let's
Yeah,
assume that there's a really good reason to do it.
yeah.
How would it be possible to get there, right? Because with humans, or not, I mean, just getting there, right? It's a long journey, I'm assuming. I think it takes, at the best, 3, maybe 4 months to get to Mars. Like, upwards, okay. So,
Eh,
how would you get to... How would it be possible for them to get to Titan in the 70s, 80s? When we can barely, take people to Mars.
Right. So I don't have conclusive evidence that 70s or 80s
But they
really
built...
developed.
Okay, but they built all of these devices, or they have plans for them around that time, around after the time of the moon landing.
Oh, the experiments were galore.
Okay,
That they had their own conferences to
cool.
sort of summarize what everybody figured out. I did solar panels. I did light engines. I did a diesel engine. I did a plasma engine. And then they have a conference and they're like, all right, everybody spit out their numbers and let's do the best. So with conventional, let's say the shuttle takes off tomorrow, starts, it would take the shuttle roughly 7 years to get to
Jeez.
Titan. That's if they packed it with chemical fuels, which, as you'll learn,
It's pretty big. Have to be a lot.
pretty big problem in space. Big problem in space.
Right.
Huge problem.
Right.
Because particularly the more you use it, the more it goes away, and there's no refuel.
Yeah. There's no
So,
regeneration. There's sort of nothing.
So if you give in to conventional rocketry, chemical engines,
Yeah.
you are looking at like a giant spaceship that has to leave Earth's orbit with enough fuel to drive. I mean, you think the space shuttle is big? Yeah, you need the booster rocket. You need like 7 times the amount of booster rockets to send that bitch.
Yeah.
Send that fucking torta up to the fucking atmosphere,
Right.
and then torture itself all the way through. So just want to point out side note, because this is one criticism I've gotten, which is not correct.
Okay.
The asteroid belt is not what you see in the movies, and it is not a problem. There have been hundreds of space programs that have gone through the asteroid belt without any problem, because the rocks are more spaced out, like the Earth is to the moon, than closed in dodging. You don't have to like do the fucking like video game asteroid dodgers.
Asteroid dodger.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I don't even want to say it because it's gonna put my age. But
who cares?
So that's just a side note.
Age is just a number, dude. Come on. Age is just a number. We're all computers. Going on We're all computers, dude. Come on.
Yeah. So the other thing is that in that long travel, you have to live in a small space.
Right. For 7 years.
Right.
With no TV.
Now, so before we talk about the spaceship,
even seen the end of Cheers, so it's like.
Cheers.
Yeah, I mean, I assume that they have to do something up there. I mean, there's no cryo.
Yeah.
So
I mean, let's something. For a minute. Okay.
But back then there was no Cheers. Like Cheers hadn't ended, so it's like.
So I am under the impression it happened in the mid-90s.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So if you take away the time, take away the type of engine / spaceship, you're living in a small space for a long period of time. And if you look at what NASA does with that research, They say we're still researching people living in small spaces. How can you live in a small space? How can you live in a small space? I'm in a 70 square foot van.
Yeah. With gravity.
Have you seen with gravity?
Right.
Have you seen the favelas in Brazil, the barrios in Colombia? Those are really small spaces. Living in a small space is like a non-issue.
Right, because you can go out.
No, I mean even if you don't go out,
Yeah.
I'm just saying like their research into small spaces
Yeah.
is just a rich people thing to do. Like people already live in small spaces. We don't need to research,
I get it. Yeah.
right?
Or
Like,
you go to Japan, they have like really small like room
yes,
size homes.
exactly.
Yeah. Room
Yeah,
size homes.
Japanese, perfect example. In their culture, they've got tons of small spaces.
And there's a
A
lot
lot
of
of
people
people
that
here,
don't leave their homes, so it's like, okay, yeah, this could work.
and there's a lot of people here that are living in their car. Like, why are you
Yeah, that's true.
pretending to go out to the desert and put up a dome and be like, we're seeing the effects on living in a small space
Yeah.
in Mars? It's like
Kind of sounds like bullshit research,
it,
like
yeah.
a little bit.
So I feel like that part is like a non-issue,
Okay. Okay.
especially if you had other people to live with.
But what about the food? Right? Because the fuel's one part, the food's another part. Like, you have enough food for 7 years
All right, so
in the
let's forget 7
90s?
years. Let's forget 7 years for a minute
Okay.
because we'll have to come back to that.
Okay. Okay.
But you are correct about the food. The food is an issue. The food is a perfect call out.
Right.
In around 1972, 1971, there were NASA scientists, physicists got together, wanted to do a 1 year trip around Venus. Okay.
Yeah.
The amount of food that they packed that is in their description of writing weighed 60 pounds
Damn.
for the entire trip.
Wow. Wait, how long was
So,
the trip?
1 year.
1 year. Oh, okay. Okay.
So they figured out the food situation for space.
For 7 years.
Now, here's another interesting trick. Interesting thing about the food that I can't find a direct correlation other than that it's done in Houston, Texas, near the NASA facility, but no correlate. Obviously, they're not related. Are miniature cattle. Miniature cattle exist. Tiny baby cows,
Right.
tiny baby donkey, but they're
Yeah.
full grown.
Okay.
Okay, so who ordered a smaller steak in the United States of America? Who said, you know what I want? I see this 12-ounce sirloin. I want a 1-ounce sirloin. I want to finish my steak in 3 bites.
Okay, but
Or
okay,
2.
so you're saying they can take small, very small animals, but they have to kill the animals in space?
Yeah, they would have to, but if you're looking to like stay for a long time on a moon, then why not bring some cattle with you?
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
And they breed, right?
Yeah. If they survive the
Supposedly,
7 years, they have to eat too.
they have to eat too.
So you got to bring. And I'm
So
guessing they can't eat out of grass, right? Or they
you'd
can't
have to
eat
feed.
in zero gravity, or they can't drink.
Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, it would be like a complicated nightmare.
Right.
But it's
Still
not
possible.
impossible.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, it's not impossible for these fucking rocket scientists.
Okay. Okay, but okay,
Um,
let's. Okay, so they got the food, sort of. How do they get the fuel though? Like that's a lot of fuel, right? How much?
So
fuel
this
does
was a
the
debate.
Venus trip do? How much does that take?
Well, so they were using old conventional rockets. So what's confusing about the 4 space programs is that they all kind of go off and do their own thing, and sometimes they go off and do the same thing and come back with the same fucking data of like, we blew up, or that space plane, we lost it. Yeah, like it's the same shit across all 4 of them. However, for the first 2, the Department of Defense and the intelligence community, they basically put the other 2 services to work.
Okay.
They put NASA to work. They're like, hey, we're fucking obviously chemical rockets don't work for our mission.
Right.
We want to stay. We want to float around this moon, this Earth. We want to go back to the moon and come back, and we want to fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
And we're out of fuel. So figure it out. So in 1982, NASA had a conference together of all the different types of space engines you can possibly have. That everybody who's ever like, even, you know what's crazy? Like, you're born, you're not even a part of this situation. You take like one physics class, you come up with an idea for a rocket, for a space engine.
Mm-hmm.
They already talked about it in 1982. I'm not even shitting you. Solar panels, light engines, doing something where, what's it called? A laser beam engine, where they put a satellite in space with a laser beam. You exit the Earth's gravity, and then it shoots a beam and propels you forward.
Dang.
Everything. And they came to a conclusion.
What?
Let me get the fucking name right because I'm gonna mispronounce it. Where is you? Here you is. MPD. Its short name is MPD MHD. It is called Magnetohydrodynamic Augmented Propulsion, otherwise known as MPD. It is essentially, okay, I'm summarizing here. You have 2 long, what is it? Sticks of magnets.
Okay.
With a space in the middle. And you shoot a liquid through the middle space. Sometimes lithium, hey, shout out lithium, or plasma. And then the magnets, oh yeah, it's not like 2 rows of magnets. It's like a hexagon of magnets.
Okay.
And then the magnets keep flipping their polarity. And it creates a propulsion.
Really?
And the beauty about it is
shooting anything out then.
Not shooting anything out. The beauty about it is it's driven by electric.
Yeah.
Ooh, wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah,
wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. There's another version of this. It's called MHD. Magnetic Hydrodynamics. Okay? You can look it up. It's exactly how it's spelled. So that motherfucker is also referred to as an air-breathing engine. Okay? It's the same sort of setup, but instead of using like lithium and plasma, it uses fucking air. Okay?
Okay.
So,
where do you get
these 2 from the atmosphere. So that one doesn't necessarily go into space.
Okay. But it
and
could
they
be
called
used on Titan.
It is used on Earth. And to this day, NASA and the military denies that they have it. However, I caught them in a lie because they call them scramjets.
Okay.
And they refer to them and they're like, this scramjet went. And then when you ask NASA and you ask the military by a simple Google search, do you fly MHDs like an airplane with an MHD in it? And their official stance for the last 50 years has been absolutely not. But we did all this research and we like put them in these wind tunnels, and then like that's what we spend like billions of dollars in, is to make these engines that are supposed to go into the atmosphere below the Kremlin line, just below the Kremlin line, and then but we don't. We just keep them in wind tunnels and we just throw fucking air at them for like millions of dollars per test. But we never put them in an engine because we stupid. And then Russia goes, "Hey, we got one in the air. Oh, we have one too." Russia.
So they don't want anyone to know until someone of importance also says they have it. Okay.
Yeah, I caught him in a lie because right on NASA's NASA has like an archive of documents, and you can't download anything regarding MHD engines, MPD engines. There's no documents to download whatsoever from their website. But they put summaries, and then they explain like if you find the document on Scramjet, oh Scramjet, crazy, it's amazing. It does this air breathing thing. It's really cool. Also referred to as an MHD. Oh, hey, Air Force, do you have an MHD airplane? No, we have scramjets. Are you retarded? And then you're like, okay, look at you,
I'm so
spoiled,
sorry.
spoiled boy.
Sorry.
Spoiled.
I'm not spoiled.
So, so there's only one hiccup with the MPD, which is good for space because it's basically infinite energy if you can power it infinitely.
Right. How
And
do
so
you
it
how?
requires. Oh,
Like,
well, the answer to
there's
that,
no wires, right? There's no electric wires anywhere. Like,
oh, there is. There's
unless they
like
have
gears
like a
and
really big one from Earth, and then just like,
no yeah. Okay, so what we're doing is we're taking a Tesla cable and we're shoving it into the afterburners, the aft of the aircraft.
right.
Yeah, and then they're just gonna fucking.
This makes sense to me. I don't know.
I don't know why people don't believe me.
Okay, so
Okay.
so obviously you're gonna talk about
So
nuclear or something. What's going on here?
yeah, so the magnet contraption, just to be clear, is a circuit board, and there are people on YouTube that make miniature versions of these and prove that thrust, because that's the key here, is that you're making thrust. Thrust can be created from this. So the electricity, the electricity concoction, the concoction for the best jet that goes like that serves. Remember, I told you like the intelligence community, the Department of Defense, and NASA sort of like started marrying the same idea together because it solved all of their problems that they created by themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
At the conclusion of the 1982 convention was a nuclear reactor with an MPD system.
How does that work exactly?
So there
Because
are things such as space reactors.
so I thought nuclear reactors work by heating water, creating steam, and then generating electricity from that. But you're saying there's a different way, like in space or something?
Yeah,
Or?
they use a different way where they just like the isotopes move back and forth. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, these space reactors have existed for a while now. Quite a while. And there is an organization, a part of this whole, what do you call it? Like an orgy when there's four? Is it four as an orgy? The space orgy of the organizations? Or is it a foursome?
I think it's a foursome.
When does it
I
when
think
does it
five
become
or
an
more.
orgy? Oh, because you can't say fivesome? So it's a foursome. So this
But
foursome space
there's a word
project.
for it, but I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. You're gonna have to message it to me.
I have no
I don't
idea. I
know.
have no idea what it is. Maybe we can chat
You know why we
GPT.
don't know? We're not cool. We're both short men. We're not invited. Not invited to these things.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So,
I'm 7'3". I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just sitting down, like, and the
oh, like
camera's
a
positioned
5'11".
up. So,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. I'm literally 3 foot. I'm literally 3 foot tall. So I
oh,
don't.
okay, okay, little guy, little guy.
Okay. But that's me laying down.
What? I guess technically,
Standing,
like,
standing up, laying down.
so standing up,
Okay.
you're like 2 feet
All right.
tall.
Yeah. But when I lay down, I gain a foot.
Right, right.
Yeah. Okay.
Makes sense.
Wait. What was the fucking question? Okay.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
So this.
how do they power this thing?
Yeah. So this foursome got together and they started collaborating eventually, mid '80s, because they were like, oh, I got this over here, and and documentation wise, you can see and smell the the shade that these other branches are giving to NASA. They hate NASA.
Right.
The intelligence community hates NASA based on these documents, the way they talk about them. So, uh, so they come up with several satellite programs that include space reactors inside of them.
Okay.
And the whole space program has like this whole like big thing, and everybody's like, wow, you know, it's like getting geometry data or geographical data or taking pictures of our buttholes or whatever. And everybody's like, wow, excited about the program thing. Really? It was just to fucking see if the space reactor would work. And it was just a tiny footnote.
Huh.
So they got these space reactors to actually work. And then the next thing is like, let's fucking crank those isotopes up, baby. Let's break those atoms. Let's fucking like turn up the power. Because to get the MPD to really go anywhere, you need 1 megawatt of power.
Okay.
Okay. But that doesn't give you get to tight power.
Right. But what?
Right.
Because
At 10 megawatts.
It's not just 1 megawatt, right? It's like over a sustained period of time, and
Well, it's 1 megawatt for approximately 10 years of time before the space reactor reduces in power.
So you could definitely get there, but getting back is basically impossible.
No, because see, that's where confusion sets in. The MPD is extremely fast. You can get with 10 megawatts, you can get to the moon in about 12 hours after you break the Earth's atmosphere on 10 megawatts. With 10 megawatts, according to calculations, you can get to Titan in about 3 to 4 years. That's on 10 megawatts.
Huh.
Of a space reactor with an MPD system in there. With an aircraft like the X-33, which is an experimental version of the space shuttle. Looks just like the fucking space shuttle, but it's built with better material, lighter material, blah, blah, blah. They did not put an MPD in there with the space reactor. It was only chemicals.
Bro.
And then...
The voice is for me.
Okay, so then there's one caveat to this.
Okay.
When you're doing the calculation to go to another
Planet or
planet moon, you need the path. So I chose the path of Cassini that Cassini took, the bus size payload. So traveling that same path, and then also you can't be full acceleration all the way there, or you just go past it. So you have to accelerate full speed and then deaccelerate at the halfway point.
Okay.
And so that's the calculation that's made
Huh.
for about 3 to 4 years on a 10 megawatt system. The other caveat is that with the MPD versus chemical engines, all chemical engines, you have a consistent acceleration. So starting off with a chemical rocket, it's gonna surpass the MPD.
Right.
But 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours next day, that MPD is doing
Most of the
like
work.
yeah, like it's way you're smoking the tail.
Huh.
So next question: has there ever been a 10 megawatt space reactor ever created
Probably.
that fits in the cone of a rocket? No, there's been a 20 megawatt highest
Really?
one highest one recorded.
And it's known. We know that for sure. They.
Yes.
Why would they tell us? What
They
was
didn't.
the excuse for that one?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's a big fuck up. Because if you search space reactors for information past 1996, there isn't any. The last thing before the space reactors information is out there, like research information.
Right.
Um, it's all gone
Oh.
by 1996.
They
So
stopped.
the last thing that they were saying that they were doing, which you can find the contracts to different companies to make, is a reactor that's in the 50 megawatts to 100 megawatts.
Huh.
And to make their research better, 1993 ish, Russia had cone. So a space reactor that is not in a satellite is cone shaped. It's like the front of the rocket. Russia had 4 of them, and they sold them to the United States for research. So these people, they know what they're doing. But those were all like 1 to 4 megawatt systems. But still, if you're doing Earth 1 to 4 megawatt system around Earth orbit, you could circle the Earth in like a couple hours or less.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So a 20 megawatt can get to Titan in a year. See? See? Now you get to sleep with what I sleep with.
Okay, so it's not going to take. Okay. So that's with the buildup. That's why circling Venus was could last a year.
You gotta walk it
60
through, man.
pounds of food because it can take a year to get to Titan with.
That's in 1971. That's in 1971. Now here's another thing to think about because I thought
you're
about,
saying.
go ahead.
Okay, so you're saying the year journey was in 1971, but this new journey with the 20 megawatt nuclear
Space
power
reactor.
source, yeah, was in 1990s, 1995 or something.
Late 90s.
So you think we're there? We just haven't told anyone, and we're waiting until someone else can figure it out. Basically,
I don't think we're waiting till
we're
somebody
not
else
gonna
can figure.
We're not going to tell anyone otherwise unless someone else can do it and be like, yeah, we've already been there for like 20, 30 years plus, you know. Okay. Alright.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot because there was another detail. No, I forgot.
Okay. Well, hey, we can. We should bring this back up tomorrow. We can watch the recording or whatever, and then we'll come back with fresh eyes, and then we'll look into like more of the details, more of the, you know, the physical
The new
details,
one.
I guess.
The ones that you need to like. I want to see
Yeah, I
like
want to
this
see this
detail.
because I don't believe you. I don't trust you.
Yeah, I don't believe that that detail exists because they could do that. Like, I have it, baby.
All right, let's do it.
I got you.